President Donald Trump set a firm deadline for Hamas to accept a ceasefire and peace proposal aimed at ending the ongoing conflict in Gaza. The deadline was established for 6 o'clock Sunday evening Washington, D.C. time. Failure to agree to the proposal would result in unprecedented consequences, President Trump warned. This 20-point plan was introduced earlier this week in collaboration with Israel and had the support of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The proposal calls for an immediate cessation of hostilities, the release of all hostages held by Hamas, including those believed deceased, and a structured transition for the governance of Gaza. Several countries in the region, including Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, have expressed support for the peace initiative. Qatar and Egypt facilitated the delivery of the proposal to Hamas leaders, encouraging the group to respond positively. The plan entails the disarmament of Hamas and the establishment of a temporary international trusteeship to oversee Gaza's governance. This transitional administration would include international monitoring and security arrangements led by Arab nations. In exchange, Israel pledged to release hundreds of Palestinian detainees, including individuals imprisoned since the conflict began and those serving life sentences. The plan also calls for humanitarian aid to enter Gaza, addressing the critical shortages that have developed due to the blockade. President Trump emphasized that this was the final opportunity for Hamas to negotiate peace. He stated that the violence and bloodshed in the region must come to an end by mutual agreement. Trump insisted that all hostages be released immediately. In his social media post, Trump wrote that if Hamas refuses the peace deal, then, quote, all hell, like no one has ever seen before, would come out against the group. He made clear that the United States would fully support Israel in its efforts to finish the campaign against Hamas should negotiations fail. The peace plan also provides for a gradual Israeli withdrawal from Gaza under strict international supervision. Furthermore, it outlines a path toward redeveloping the territory into a de-radicalized, terror-free zone, though it notably does not include provisions for Palestinian statehood. This omission has drawn criticism from observers. The proposal's governance model includes a board of peace, which would feature President Trump, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, and other global leaders overseeing the transition to stability. An international stabilization force would assist local Palestinian police in maintaining order, with coordination among Israeli, Egyptian, and Arab security forces. Since the plan's unveiling, Hamas has offered a mixed response. Political leaders based in Qatar appear open to negotiation with certain modifications, while military leaders in Gaza have expressed reservations and resistance. Hamas representatives have rejected the plan's take-it-or-leave-it stance, asserting that the people of Gaza have endured significant hardship and should not be forced to compromise fundamental rights. They seek a clear timeline for Israeli withdrawal and more favorable terms. Meanwhile, President Netanyahu reiterated Israel's support for the deal, warning that if Hamas fails to comply, Israel will take decisive military action to destroy the militant group. He framed the ultimatum as a choice between reaching a peaceful resolution or facing full-scale confrontation. President Trump also urged all innocent Palestinian civilians in Gaza to seek safety by relocating to less dangerous areas, although specific safe zones were not identified. He assured that humanitarian assistance would be provided to those affected by the conflict. The peace initiative comes as the conflict approaches its second anniversary, which has seen tens of thousands of casualties on both sides.
the United Nations and various human rights organizations have raised concerns about the humanitarian situation, highlighting the urgent need for a ceasefire. The proposal attempts to balance immediate conflict resolution with long-term regional stability, though securing agreement from all parties remains challenging. The upcoming deadline represents a critical juncture for the future of Gaza and peace in the Middle East. In summary, the Trump administration has offered Hamas a final chance to cease hostilities and engage in peace negotiations under international oversight. Failure to accept the plan by Sunday evening carries the risk of intensified military operations and sustained violence in the region.